Soldiers of Reddit, what are things they don't tell you about going to war? Just because you're infantry, that doesn't always mean that you're going to get fucked up, and everyone else isn't. I was an infantryman who went to Iraq. My younger brother was in communications and he went to Afghanistan. I drove from base to base hoping to not get hit by IEDs while looking for suspicious people, places, objects on the road, etc. My brother sat on one base the entire time he was there working with radios and satellites. Our base was never attacked, but we did find some rockets once set to launch at our base. EOD destroyed them. My brother's base was hit almost daily. Farmers with RPGs firing randomly. Mortars coming in randomly. Well, one time was too random for my brother. He was sitting in a bunker waiting for the attack to be over when the women's shower was hit with a few mortars. It blew the building all to shit. There were women in there showering at the time. A few were killed, and my brother saw one crawl out of the rubble who was blown in half. I came home with bad knees and anger issues. My brother came home with a broken body, mind, and spirit. Shit like that was supposed to happen to me, not him. They can't prepare you for a human being dying in front of you. It's not like Hollywood where they tell you something important before they die. They cry, scream, shit, and piss themselves, beg to stay alive, or worse yet, they just stop being there. The biggest thing they don't tell you is how to put up with fucking civilians asking questions about shit they have no right to ask about. But the number one biggest thing they tell, don't ever you about war, is this. Some of you will like it a little too much. Not a soldier, but a nurse. We coded a patient last night. She died. It was awful. She'd had esophageal varices, basically huge, very fragile hemorrhoids in the throat, and they ruptured. There was blood everywhere, coming out of her mouth, nose, eyes, and ears by the end. And then we wash her and clean her, and every time we rolled her over, more of the liters of blood in her stomach would come gushing out of her mouth faster than the suction system could keep up. It was horrifying, but during the CPR, all I could think of was how my back was killing me, and afterwards I was just annoyed that I got blood on my newish shoes. Sometimes I think I should have picked a quiet, low-key career where shit like this doesn't happen. There's a place where you don't have to worry about your bills, mortgage, family, in-laws, homework, or neighbors. You can't get busted by the cops or shut down for having too good of a time. You're with your best friends in a valley for months, and you get to fly in helicopters a couple times a week. You get to go camping all the time, and you'll be in the best shape of your life. You'll get paid more than you've ever been paid in your life. Seriously, it's tax-free. You get Girl Scout cookies at a certain point, and then it seems like every officer and some of the medics somehow never runs out. You don't have to do or fold your laundry, and you don't even have to get out of bed to pee. You shoot the biggest and coolest guns you've ever seen or heard of, and goddamn, you shoot them a lot. And then you get back and you're 21 and drinking a bottle of liquor every night with your best friends, because you can afford it and it's a damn good time. Everyone at work thinks you're a hero and listens to what you have to say. What you say goes. You are the expert in your field because you've earned the right through the blood, sweat, and tears you poured into something you didn't even really think about over the past year or so. It's just part of the job. Deal with it, guys. The Army pats you on the butt on the way out, and the Department of Labor says you'll do well getting a job going out. Thanks for training the medics to replace you. You get home and it feels like leave. You think now it's real. College classes are easy and part-time work is a joke. The VA is the hardest thing because they ask you to describe in detail every ache and pain and irregularity you suffer, multiple times to multiple people, and why. Each time you remember a little more, but it never feels like you had an incomplete picture to begin with. You remember the explosion, and you remember running your lieutenant to the bunker. It's your 4th or 5th firefight, and it's only his first one? He's cowering and trying to get his armor back on because he was giving a radio class to Afghans, but with the sound of incoming and outgoing gunfire praying to find each other, he can barely move. You laugh and look to see if the story makes anyone else laugh. Instead, there are 3 horrified teenagers form your group project staring back at you. You miss that place. You miss it, and you got shot at every day, and you can't explain to anyone why. On my 2nd deployment now. First to Iraq, this one is in Afghanistan. Just got here a month ago. The fucking dust, man. These countries are so damned dusty. Coming home, you miss having your rifle all the time. Feels very weird to not have it. You will wear the same uniform for a week, even if you have a desk job. The insane amount of wasted money in these wars. We had some printers fail because of a dusty fuser in Iraq. The local vendors didn't sell the fuser. We bought new $1,000 printers because going through contracting for a $5 part would have taken months. Recently left a base where we were shooting a lot of mortars outgoing. The speakers would announce it so that people didn't think the booms were incoming IDF. Every time I heard it, I'd think someone is dying right now. The food is awful. Even if you are at a big base, you will really miss nice restaurants and home-cooked food. Nobody ever talks about the smell. That's what's most vivid in my memory. You watch movies that show war and you talk to guys that have already been there, but you never think about what it will smell like until you're clearing buildings, have to pop someone in the head for the first time. And then that smell hits you. Maybe it's the combo of blood and gun smoke, but it reminded me of how your hands smell after holding a swing set chain. Between having to go weeks without showering, burning your own shit and garbage, and the dead people that aren't always properly interred. Yeah, war is a smelly-ass place. You'll die for no reason without any time to react. It won't be like that heroic favorite movie of yours. That's why I'll never join the military. The most kills I've ever had in Counter-Strike before getting a death was like 14, and I have played for 12 years. I've also played video games in general for 22 years. Another reason not to join something physically demanding. No matter what they say, you are never prepared to come home. It's so different, and your sense of imagination is tenfold. I saw a woman holding a gun to a man's stomach. I blink and take another look. It's his fucking wallet that he dropped, and I was about to tackle her. IDK, it's just hard. Just gonna throw an edit on here. Been getting some shitty PMS. If anyone would like to know my story, you can message me, please. I got an honorable discharge. Please let me know, but goddamn, don't be an ass this shit gets to people. My dad was in Iraq in 4. His uncle who was in Vietnam approached him at a reunion. After my dad got back and they had a talk, it went something like this. Uncle: let me guess, you feel like you don't fit in here. At the party. Dad: yeah. Uncle: you don't feel like you understand what's happening. Dad: yeah. Uncle: and you want to go back because that's the only thing that makes sense. Dad: yeah. Uncle: that goes away after a year or so. It never stops, it just becomes less common. You'll move past it eventually. Everyone does. Guarding things. Guarding all the things. Guard tower. Thousands of hours of my life standing in 120 degrees Fahrenheit heat, wearing 70 pounds of shit. Feeling sorry for myself, hoping we get attacked. So I can shoot the gun, I have to clean every single day. Guarding latrines while wearing full gear because someone clogged the toilet and this is punishment. Guarding padlocked Humvees in the motor pool because we don't want our equipment stolen by other US soldiers from other units. Guarding our tents because we share a base with Iraqi soldiers and we don't trust our own allies. Guarding all the things. Cleaning things. Cleaning all the things. Clean your weapon every single day. Shoot it? Maybe. Once during the deployment? Maybe. Some guys never fire a shot. Clean the vehicles before and after every mission. Clean your living space. I lived in what used to be someone's bathroom. We poured water down the shithole in the floor, called it good, set up cots, and that's where I slept. But I better make my bed every morning, straightening out my poncho liner that constituted my linen, and make sure my personal belongings and gear are packed up neatly, because we must keep the living area clean. Clean the outpost we live on. Pick up all the trash and burn the trash pile every day. Even though we live on an outpost where we burn our own shit in barrels a few hundred feet away from where we eat our meals. Clean all the things. Maintenance. I signed up as an infantryman. One would, if uninformed, believe that mechanics fix vehicles. Wrong. We do our own maintenance on our Humvees, MR-Apps, Bradleys, and M113s. Not only do we do pre-mission maintenance, post-mission checks, and weekly maintenance, but when something breaks, we fix it. Only when we can't fix it, like something seriously wrong with the engine transmission, do the mechanics do the work. Change track on a Bradley? There are about 180-ish, it's been a few years, correct me if I'm wrong, track pads on 180-ish track shoes on a Brad. We changed pads twice a month or more often if they burned out. Driving 45 kilometers per hour on asphalt in 120 degrees Fahrenheit heat, the pads literally catch fire and melt off the track. We change the whole track. The most backbreaking job in the mech infantry once a month. As a mech grunt, I felt like I was 33% tanker. The tankers called us baby tankers, 33% mechanic, and 33% infantryman, with that last 1% constituting sorry motherfucker. You will probably not kill anyone. The Apaches, fixed-wing jets, snipers, machine gunners, tank gunners, Bradley gunners, they do most of the killing. The guys with rifles are filling in slots to drive vehicles, kick doors, and detain prisoners. Only a few of the riflemen ever smoked anyone. Usually the killing is done with the bigger guns. When the shooting starts, almost all the fire is meant to suppress the enemy position, so they hunker down and give us freedom of movement to maneuver on them, close with them, flank them, and engage them. Dudes would literally dump off dozens to hundreds of rounds in a gunfight, And at the end of it, we either found no bodies or didn't bother to look. Nobody wins. The losers are the civilians. No matter how many bad dudes we smoked, the civilians always lost. When we go back to our outpost, the bad dudes go back to the villes we left and terrorize the locals. Innocent kids tortured, raped, and murdered. Rockets and mortars lobbed into a ville because it's the opposite sect from its opposing ville. We found over 90 bodies of extrajudicial killings, murder victims, from Shiite versus Sunni sectarian violence in just the first month of my first combat tour. A tour that lasted 15 months. You will never convince me that the US-led coalition won the 2003 Iraq War, but I can tell you who lost. The civilians of Iraq, by a fucking landslide. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss new and the coolest stories from all over Reddit in the future. See you next time.